November 17, 2019, the first case of COVID-19 was discovered.
The biggest quarantine
One patient tested positive for coronavirus.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
First death being reported now from Karnataka.
We declared a public health emergency.
घरों से बाहर निकलने पर पूरी तरह पाबंदी लगाई जा रही है.
This is the fight against COVID-19. The number of cases are going up.
India's biggest hotspot.
Is India really prepared?
There is a migrant laborers continue to walk back.
Not helping India's cause are COVIDians. These are selfless corona warriors on the front lines.
Who is going to be getting this vaccine first?
1 year later, the world has changed, so have we.
And after that, the whole world turned to chaos. Many people lost their jobs and their lives. However, even though how much chaos does COVID-19 cause, there is still good things happening that we didn't notice. That's why today we will discuss what are the advantages and disadvantages of this pandemic in our body.
The following are some of the advantages of quarantine amidst the pandemic. Number 1 is that you may focus more on self-care. In contrast with the stressful days of work in the office or schools, quarantine may give people the opportunity to focus more on themselves. Finding time for self-care amidst the pandemic can be massively beneficial for everyone's health. According to Akila Wise from Healthy Debate, practicing self-care can help alleviate psychological distress and anxiety caused by the pandemic and prevent lasting adverse psychological outcomes. Because of the ongoing pandemic, doing at-home self-care activities are important as a coping strategy. At-home self-care activities include listening to music, meditating, calling a friend or loved one, playing games, finding new hobbies, doing yoga, or any other activities that make a person feel more relaxed, lifts one's mood, and reduce stress and anxiety. As said before, finding time for self-care amidst the pandemic can be massively beneficial for everyone's mental health. Having good mental health means the person has a healthy nervous system, lowering the risk of having mental illnesses, which describes as nervous system disorders. Number 2 is that you have time to exercise. Along with the self-care activities people do, exercise can also be included in their routines. Though gyms may not be currently available, there can still be alternative at-home activities that people may do without the use of gym equipment. According to Nuvan's Health, regular exercise is essential for everyone under normal circumstances. However, it is especially crucial during the COVID-19 pandemic because it can boost the immune system, prevent weight gain, reduce stress and anxiety, and improve sleep. Additionally, exercise also benefits the cardiovascular system. According to medical doctor Cash Casey from Edward Elmer's Health, regular exercise strengthens muscles, but it also helps the heart do a better job of pumping blood throughout the body. Exercise helps the system because it lowers blood pressure and cholesterol, improves blood flow, and decreases the risk of heart diseases. During quarantine, people should move more and sit less. Doing any regular movements such as walking or jogging can go a long way, as it prevents having a sedentary lifestyle, which refers to a lifestyle involving little to no physical activities.
3. Less exposure to UV rays. Since we are not going outside of our home, we will be less exposed to the harmful UV rays. And UV rays is one of the primary cause of skin cancer. Most of skin cancer are a result of exposure to UV rays in sunlight. Both basal and squamous cell cancer, the most common types of skin cancers, tend to be found on sun-exposed parts of the body, and their occurrence is typically related to lifetime sun exposure. The risk of melanoma, a more serious but less common type of skin cancer. In addition to skin cancer, exposure to UV rays can cause other health problems. UV rays, either from the sun or from artificial sources like tanning beds can cause sunburns. Exposure to UV rays can cause premature aging of skin and signs of sun damage, such as wrinkles, leathery skin, liver spots, acne, keratosis, and solar elastosis. Exposure to UV rays can also weaken our immune system, so that the body has a harder time fending off infection. This can lead to problems such as reactivation of herpes triggered by exposure to the sun or other sources of UV rays.
In this time of pandemic, we are forced to stay at home. And because of that, we have a lot of time to take care and to prioritize our physical and mental health. And the best thing we can do for now is to slow down, because what will definitely make everything worse is panic, fear, and stress. Because we know that increased level of cortisol or stress hormone will definitely deplete the immune system and make you more susceptible to disease. So, if you want to stay healthy during this pandemic, the best thing you can do is to slow down and get plenty of sleep and reduce stress. We must use this time in a productive way to reflect and to remind us all that whatever is going on to the world or in our personal lives, we always have a choice on how we react and respond.
In the midst of the pandemic, the virus spread throughout the world, causing multiple cities to lock down, multiple hospitals to panic. With the virus taking place inside the human body, certain cases showed certain problems, such as the excessive amount of patients that were admitted to have heart attacks due to panicking after knowing the results of having tested positive in COVID-19. With the results of having COVID-19, the rate of patients having a heart attack rose incredibly high over the past year. Having COVID-19 be the cause of this severe cardiovascular disease is truly frightening. COVID-19 doesn't just attack the insides, but it also attacks the outsides, the skin in particular. We've seen enough reports on how COVID-19 affected our body with hair loss, different kinds of rashes, redness of the eyes, and a disease called COVID toes. Our human body isn't safe with this kind of disease, as this also affects the human integumentary system, the protection of our body. Some skin symptoms appear soon after the infection, or while others arise later or in a more severe disease.
Lack of vitamin D. Why do we need vitamin D? Vitamin D helps our body absorb calcium, and calcium is one of the main building blocks of our bone. Vitamin D has a role in your nervous system, muscle, and immune system. You can get vitamin D in 3 ways: through your skin, from your diet, and from supplements. Your body forms vitamin D naturally after exposure to sunlight. Since due to pandemic, we are restricted to go outside and the production of vitamin D are lessened. Vitamin D deficiency can lead to loss of bone density, which can contribute to osteoporosis and fracture bones. Severe vitamin D can also lead to other diseases. In children, it can cause rickets. Rickets is a rare disease that can cause the bone to become soft and bend. American infants and children are higher risk of getting rickets. Since due to pandemic, children today doesn't have time to go outside to expose to sunlight. So it can cause less production of vitamin D and cause vitamin D deficiency.
Difficulty in breathing is one of the common symptoms of COVID-19. According to WebMD.com, the virus can lead into pneumonia, respiratory failure, heart problems, liver problems, septic shocks, and even death. So, if you don't feel well, stay at home. Even if you have mild symptoms like headache and runny nose, stay in until you're better. This lets doctors focus on people who are more seriously ill and protects our healthcare workers and the people you might meet along the way. So, you might hear this called self-quarantine. So if you feel those symptoms, try to stay in a separate room away from other people in your home and use a separate bathroom if you can.
The COVID-19 pandemic affected people both physically and mentally. Though quarantine has its own disadvantages when it comes to a person's health, there are also benefits that we should take focus on. Instead of only looking at the negatives, why don't we look more into the advantages of quarantine and utilize it in our favor? Being confined in their homes won't stop everyone from achieving a healthy body and a steady life.